Yo, 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 we're all in. We're here. We're here. It's 8 o'clock. I thought I'd just push it back to, well, we've done 8:30, 7:30. 8 feels the right balance. Evening, folks. I'm just resharing where I can. So whatever platform you're coming from, if you can do the same, certainly if you're on X, that would be appreciated. We've got an interesting lineup tonight. You've got myself and Andy that you regularly see. Finley, who is, of course, joined us in more recent shows. We've decided to sack off Carl and Gavin. I'm not renewing their contracts for the next season. So I said, look, you might as well go now. They are, well, Carl's working. Gavin has been working and is on his way back from London. So he will probably not make it. And I said, don't rush because his train was due in at 8:15 and it was half an hour or 45 minutes late. So it's all crazy. Right, let me get that done. Finley, how are we doing? It's been a couple of weeks since we saw you last. I think it's an important note to mention, actually. So for those that were on last time Finley was on, and evening everybody, his X account got hacked and he still hasn't got it back. I want to give a word of warning, though, that I have seen at least 2 or 3 more X accounts that have been hacked, and you'll get a message along the lines of, oh, hi mate, can I ask you a quick question? And if you engage with it, someone will come back with some sort of message sending you a link, maybe about a podcast show or whatever. As soon as you see the words, hi mate, can I ask you a quick question along those lines, delete and block that user. Even if it's someone you know on X. I think MG, Home Park Don, was done this week. Staffordshire Pilgrim was the one that caught Finley out and nearly caught Carl and I out. There's a few going around, so just a word of a warning. If you get that message, anything that says along the lines of, can I ask you a quick question, or then send you a link to something, do not do and click on it. The other advice I can give you, I know some people see it more as that's just an added ball ache. Put your 2-factor authentication on, or your 2FA, because if you accidentally fall for it, then at least you've got your 2FA on, so that will come through to your phone. So just a little bit of a word of warning, because Finley, you are still trying to recover that, but you do have your other accounts to still push your content, don't you?
Yeah.
Is that it? I mean, you can leave me. Yeah.
Finley, come on.
And he's like, yeah.
So I'm still available on Instagram and Facebook. So you can follow me on
That's
there.
not for dating. That's for his articles.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But have you been good the past couple of weeks since we saw you last?
Yeah, it's all been good. Keeping up with Argyle and all that. So it's good that we're in a position where we could get a playoff spot, but we'll see on Saturday if we can just push in there.
It is so good that it's gone to the final game, even if, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it might not be any potential in it. There could well be. That's the key to it. So it's good that it does take it to the end. And I have said for a while, we'll just sit outside of that playoffs. And then the last game, we'll just go, coming through. Thank you very much. We'll take that final first place. Yeah. So, but good to have you back in, Finley. Finley will give us some news updates when we come on to the presser and all that jazz. As I see Ian Kerno85 was saying he loved the presser today with Alex Mitchell. Andy, how have you been? You're starting a new job as well. So some mad place has decided to take you on. So fair play.
It's a lovely place, actually. But yeah, I am starting a new job as of the 11th of May, which is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. I won't be saying where I'm going to be working at the moment because the GDPR and all that sort of stuff. But
that's not GDPR. You just want to keep your fans at bay.
I know, keep my fans at bay. Yeah. No, so it's been a really good week, busy week, filling in forms and catching up with all sorts of stuff to do with the work I'm going to be doing. Also been painting my kitchen and washing algae off the back patio. So there you go.
You know, the life of the grumpy loyal, folks.
Life of the grumpy loyal. And thanks, Stephen, for the bluebells. Yeah, the bluebells are lovely today, mate. Fantastic. Thanks for Matthew.
Started to see them come out, yeah. Also, I'd like to say that, unlike his flag, I'm sure he's washed recently. Please welcome back in Nick from PAFC Displays, also known as Tomo. So, how are things with you, my good man?
All good, mate. All good. Yeah, busy week. Just looking forward now to the weekend, and hopefully, whatever happens, we'll take care of our business. I've got no doubt about that. But whatever happens elsewhere, what will be at the end of the day. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's. I think that's you just want to come out at the end of it with like, do you know what? We did everything. It is an absolute massive bonus if we do miraculously through other results get into that final spot. But let's enjoy it. I forgot to say actually, Andy has got a ticket. He is going up with Ray and his family who sit next to us. So yeah, you'll be there then, Andy, live from Northampton's ground.
Yeah, I won't be sort of disappointed this time. All those people that say that I only listen to the radio, I'm going. Yeah.
No, don't flip flop about.
I won't flip flop about it, mate.
No. So you what are you going to be doing going up on the Saturday morning? I'm guessing. Yeah, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, we're leaving about 8 o'clock in the morning. Going to just take a leisurely drive up there, meet some friends up, meeting Kenny Pester up there, I think, and a few other lads. So that'd be nice to catch up with them beforehand.
Yeah, good. No, hopefully you will enjoy it. At the end of the day, let's have a look. Truth Plim, I think he's going to start with 1 star on his McDonald's badge and see if he can work from there. But let me see who's in the chat. So it's good to see a number of you in already. I seem a bit hyper than normal. It has been a bit of a full-on week. I have to give a shout out to my colleague Billy, who works for me on a number of projects, and we have been going through one for the past couple of weeks. That's been painful, but I'm good. Looking forward. We're coming out the end of just about finishing it, and I'm looking forward to this long weekend. So shout out to him with all his good work that he does with me, which is much appreciated. Right, who we got in? Let's scroll back to the top. Michael Hawks, the Reading fan, who's normally in about an hour before anybody else because he's just so keen as a Block 9 podcast fan. He says, evening everyone, hope you're all excited for your potential playoffs on playoff place on Saturday. Dave Ferris was in earlier, said, forgot you're not starting until 8. I know, I'm just annoying, aren't I? Changing things. Who will be who will be at Northampton for the nail biting run? Finley, you're not. Are you going or not going? I haven't asked. Sorry. No. So Andy and Nick, I'm guessing you're not.
No, I'm not. Skint after my Zagreb trip, unfortunately.
That's it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and but he does have his towels and that sorted, folks. So get on and start ordering. He has found his new supplier. I've heard he's good with some needles. So get on and get your towel orders in for your summer holidays. Kev Samo is in. My best mate. He says, looking forward to all the final day dramas. What a season and a turnaround it's been. Just how spicy will those wedges be at 5 p.m.? I don't know if it was Killian who asked that question and if he's up tonight evening to you as well. So let's see what else have we got here. Oh, Killian's here. He says afterwards, Mike, minus any Britain's Got Talent. Absolutely, sort that kid out. No Britain's Got Talent. This is the only talent you need in front of you all today, us four, and the Greens. Ian said, good evening all. Mike, are we looking forward to your new graphics? Well, I have. As you know, Ian, and the guys here, I've got some bits to show from the work that I'm continuing to do with my app. More of that later. VW Coco says, going to be a crazy on Saturday as playoff place will change a lot. It's always a good final day, isn't it? Peter Hemwood's in as well. Good evening, all. He's probably not so happy with the Arsenal match last night. All you did was moan about decisions. No, you didn't. Come on, you Greens. GT says, just finished work, ready for the blog. It's a podcast, mate, not a blog. But anyway, we'll accept that. Heather Louise, she's in as well. And Heather will join us later. As obviously, yes, the ladies did make it through to their playoffs, as you know. So we just need the men's to try and do that as well. Let's see. What else have we got in here? Matt Montgomery says, so excited about Saturday, folks. Been looking forward to it all week. What else we got? I read that one out earlier. Stephen Cooper says, evening, Grumps, nice bluebells. Ayo, sailor. Matt Montgomery also said, spicy wedges, apologies, said, Evening all from Spicy Towers. Looking forward to the game, even though I am working, notifications will be on. The wedges will be very spicy at full time with 3 points and in the playoffs. And if you're lucky, you might buy one, get one free from Spicy himself. VW Coco says, yeah, Mitchell, top class again. I have got the little clip from the presser that they pit out, although the one comment about his award and Boateng wasn't in it, sadly, but we'll show that. Finley, what's that? Are you pointing at David Tom's comment, Andy?
Yeah.
No, it's a comment on Finn's horns.
Oh, right. Okay. We'll come back. Yeah. So, David Toms, Finley, look as though you have your horns growing out of your head. It is his Silverstone horns, for those that don't know from previous. Right. Let me get a few more out of the way. Poor Mike is going to be a long podcast with that start, Finley. I thought that was funny. I think you caught that earlier as well, Finley. Ian says, we can see it in the stars. Shuey gets us a win. For Bolton Wanderers with Sissoko scoring and Stevenage lose. We also need... that is Luton, isn't it? Who Bolton are playing, excuse me. We shall see. Let's see if that comes true. Stephen Cooper, I worry that Bolton will be on the beach. They won't... I said this on Saturday. They won't be on the beach so much. They'll want to maintain momentum because they're going to go straight into the playoffs and they're going to want to end on a win so they can secure that third spot and then make sure they are fit and ready for all those playoff places. So that's how I see it. Stephen, good to see you as well. As I was on my walk around the block at lunch this week, and he tooted as he was going by in his taxi, wearing his Block 9 polo as well, by the way. What we got? Ian says 5 a.m. leave for us on Saturday to beat that bank holiday traffic. So there's a note, Andy, for you.
Yeah,
and anyone else going. Sixfield's best landmark in Northampton, awful place. Remember visiting friends there when I lived in Suffolk. I do have my indoors are in Northampton, in Kettering. It's a lovely place, of course. It's all right. It's fine. What else we got? Tall Paul on bikes. Evening all. Love that. Evening to you. David Toms. Finley looks as though you have your horns grown out. That's what we read just now. Terry Alford's in. Sounds like Tolly threw his toys out the pram over not getting player of the season. Well, not for... Well, he's done well, but not for that short stint. Truth Plin says, to me, Mitchell's interview was pay the money and come and get me, please. He sounded keen. Yeah, we've heard some mixed views. Right, we'll move on because I just need to take a break. So, Finley, give us some of the news that's happened these past few days because I think a few players might have had some food poisoning from that meal on Tuesday night.
Yeah. I was reading that today. I immediately thought it would have been the end of season awards, but over the week we've had obviously the Argyle win, and past that we've had a lot of interest from Tolai from other publishers online, especially Sports Pito, who says that Derby and Leicester and Sheffield United are interested in Tolai, but we won't know that's for sure. But obviously, we've had rumours of players that we could sign in Dylan Tate from Falkirk and Kabir from Grimsby, and there could be good signings. And then obviously with the presser, we've had the confirmation that Joe Rawls has been offered a new deal. Yeah.
So some exciting stuff starting to come out already. I'll come to you, Andy, on the Laurent Tolai. There was a lot of talk again. I believe some bedwetting, as Gavin would say if he was here. Bets all recap, Andy. Whittaker, I was confident with my bets at the time of not worth more than 6 and got a lot of slack for it at the time on X. People touting 10 and 15 million. There's some thinking the same with Laurent Tolai. But respectfully, I think 5-6 million, Andy, if we've got all that interest that's coming in, as Finley said, there's some more interest now being sort of alluded to this week. Will he be here at the end of the season, or are we going to see the last of Tolai on Saturday's game, assuming he doesn't have a stomach bug?
I think if all these rumours are true and all these teams are coming in for him, just let the bidding commence. And if he wants to go, then you can't stop him, really, can you? If someone's going to pay 6-8 million for you, then you're going to take that, aren't you? I hope he'd stay because I think him and Peppel next season would be a great force in the Championship. There you go. I'm pinning that to the mast right there when we're in the Championship because I think we're going to do it. I really do think we're going to do it. I know I haven't been drinking. Yeah, so having those two together next season would be great, and having Joe Rolls in there for that experience, and maybe getting Mitch back as well. That would just be the catalyst for the side next season, wouldn't it?
I think out of all the players, Nick, come to you now so you can unmute yourself. He's probably the most likely to go. There's a lot for me. Pepper has shown a huge amount over the season, and I think has really, for me, edged it with his performance over Talai, and it's been great to see them both up there, pitting the goals away like they have done. I think Bim, even though he does have a release clause, I think he will still be here, but I think it's probably Talai, and that's no disrespect to Bim. I think there's more qualities overall that Talai has, if I can say that. But yeah, what are you thinking on it, and what do you think value-wise, Nick?
I think you're very. My value is probably in the similar sort of vein as yours, mate. To be honest, if someone comes in with 6 or 7, I mean, for an asset that you've had at the club for less than 12 months to go up from him, you pay 1.2 million, I think it was, for him, and we get 6 million on him in 12 months. I mean, that's an incredible return on investment, and the club would be silly to turn that sort of money down. So, first of all, I think 6 or 7 million. Secondly, we don't know if all these clubs are actually interested in signing him. How many times have we had that certain clubs are after certain players to be told later on in a fans forum that actually that was never the case? No, they never had any contact from that club. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. These reporters are going to be looking to get clickbait and get and sell their stories. So there is an element of pinch of salt needed with some of the truth in it, I guess. With respect to Bim staying and Toddy going in that respect, I think out of the two, I think Bim does stay. I think if you look at his attitude and his mannerisms around with the fans and things like that, and the way it reacts off the field with fans, like post-match and things like that, he seems to have a real love for the club, and it seems like he wants to be here and he loves being here. Whereas the impression, don't get me wrong, Toddy's fantastic. He's been fantastic for the club, and I'm not saying he doesn't care about the club, because he clearly does, because the amount of goals he scored. But I think his ambition to become Championship, possibly Premier League striker, probably will have more of a play in whether he stays or goes with us this year. That's my view, anyway. Yeah,
I think there's still some sort of areas where I asked the guys in the group, in our WhatsApp group, which you can still join if you're not already. We've had another fan join in this week, Alex, and it's grown quite nicely. But I did say, where do you think, if anything, Talai wouldn't get picked up, and why in there? But it's for me, I think he's the one that does want to go on. Argyle's given him that, sort of pedestal to suddenly show what he can do. There's probably some strength, physical issues there that he may struggle with, and an element maybe of the pace. He can see the goal. There's no issues with that. But yeah, I don't know. I think if my gut instinct's like he will go. And I don't agree, Stephen. You're not going to get 10 million for Talai. I think it'll be around the 5 mark. Yes, Simon Hallett, as Ian said, and Paul Byrne did set a bidding war off. As they said, we are in no rush to sell. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of interest on a player like that. It's one of those, isn't it, where the strikers are such a rare commodity that if you're seeing someone scoring goals and you think, do you know what, they have got something about them, you are going to inquire. And even though there's a number of clubs struggling financially at the moment, a £5 million bid, or if you push to 6 million, is probably worth the risk, isn't it? Finley, are you not looking to do any clickbait and have a News Hub exclusive and just make up some random stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm not the type of person who does that sort of stuff. With all my stuff, I always want to be genuine, and that if it's from a very good source, and I do post a bit more about it, but I'm not the person who just does that sort of stuff. No,
that's fair enough. I'm only winding you up. So, just a couple of things as well that I'll repeat throughout the show. So, been sort of working out how we're going to do our final show. So, our closeout to the season will look like this. Obviously, we'll finish this live lounge tonight. Saturday, Carl and I will do a watch along, and hopefully that will be brilliant. So we'll do that watch along, and I've got my more graphics and fixes and to some of the bugs. So looking forward to testing that out again. And then we sort of thought, or I did for a while, about what we should do for the final show. And then came to the conclusion of, well, let's mix it up. It will probably be a longer one, maybe around the 2-hour mark, but we're going to do it on Friday. So next Friday, the 8th of May, starting at 8, we will go live with the show. And we've got a couple of special guests. One who has been on the show before, Chris Errington, will join us to give his views as well. And obviously, he travels to all the games. So the incredible ups and downs or downs then ups of this season. And we also have a new guest that will join us on Friday. Been looking to get him on for a little while now, and that's not his fault. It's just trying to tie things up. But Aaron Kuzak, who does the Argyle analysis and obviously owns his own ATech coaching business. And he's done a lot of work with Bim Peppel recently and a lot of Argyle players over time. He is going to come on as well and have a chat with us all. Probably give him, get him, to talk about the likes of Bim and maybe 2 or 3 other players that have really stood out for him this season. So that will happen on Friday the 8th. Like I said, get comfy, grab some drinks, chill out on that one. And whether or not we will be extra happy because of the playoffs, we'll soon find out, won't we? So let's just move on to the presser and see what was said today. So TC said, it's an exciting day ahead. You are where you deserve to be at this stage of the season. We approach the game with confidence and focus on doing our job. The preparation is all about giving ourselves the best chance of winning. On Northampton, he said their work ethic on Tuesday was fantastic. Confidence is low, but they've not been on a good run, but they made Barnsley work hard on Tuesday. On team news, he said Joe Rules is on the grass. It's great to see him out there. Hopefully he plays again this season because it would mean we are in the playoffs. Will we see Joe Rules still this season? I'm slightly concerned, though, he said, about a sickness bug going around the squad, which has affected a couple of players, but I'm hoping it won't impact us for Saturday. Finley's obviously bored already. I've got 22 out of 23 senior players training at the moment. 3 of them have been affected by the bug, so that cuts the group down to 20. Still a decent-sized group, though, to train with, and we need to focus on getting those 3 healthy for Saturday. They may travel themselves tomorrow. We don't know who those players are, and that's probably right to keep it a secret. Evening, Debbie, who's just joined in. On the end of the season awards, he said a few could have put their hat in the ring for the awards, which is pleasing. All the winners deserved it. Alex Mitchell has been outstanding. He's brave. He's got charisma. For a lone player to win is impressive. And he was very humble with it as well. On Malachi Boateng, he says, I get stick for the amount of compliments I give him. Oh, well, he's a good-looking lad, isn't he? He is the definition of low maintenance. Gets around his work very professionally. It's been a brilliant season with one more push from him. He will start tomorrow, which will make it that he has started every game for us this season, which is crazy. On the Green Army, TC went on to say, they're outstanding. I feel privileged to be here, to be backed by such a dedicated fan base. The lads are playing entertaining football and our fans are dedicated. So we expect to sell out, but we do not take that for granted. Let's hope we can have a few more days out this season. And it was Alex Mitchell who was the player being interviewed. And he goes to say, on winning men's player of the season, I've never won an award like that. To be voted the winner is mad concept for me. It's always brilliant to be rewarded. There were so many lads that could have won it. I'm buzzing to have won it. And then this typical quote from Alex Mitchell. All week, I thought Malachi Boateng was going to win it. To see his face after was brilliant. Just they didn't put that in the little video clip, sadly, but he's just great at that sort of stuff. On the playoff race, he said, this league has been mental. We've just got to control the controllables. If you go into the game looking at other results, I'd rather just worry about ourselves. We need luck to go our way, but it's not completely out of the question. As well, his thoughts on the Green Army. He said, Saturday was the loudest I've heard them. They helped us a lot. Without them, I don't think we would have won against Port Vale. I'm hoping they are just as loud at Northampton. I'm sure Andy will try and make up for it where he can. Alex Mitchell also said, I really enjoyed my loan at Lincoln. There's a special place in my heart, but this has probably topped it. The way people have taken to me, I've never seen anything like it, he said. You don't realize how much people care about this club until you come down here. Every loan is different, he said. You're always trying to learn something. But with this one, I've been a leader and a mainstay, and it's probably been the best one. On Tom Cleverley, went on to say, finally, I don't want to say too many cliches, but the way he can get me up for a game, the passion he shows, he really gets us going and is probably the coach that has helped develop me the most on the ball and defensively. His man management, how he's dealt with stuff I've had to go through or got going on. There isn't a better way to handle it. He has been outstanding. Andy, to you. So a good presser. I don't know if you got to watch any of it, but you know, it's good that we're hearing Rawls is obviously back on the pitch. We've offered him a contract, as Finley was also letting everybody know. We saw that announced earlier. He's just a brilliant character, isn't he? What does your gut instinct say on the ability for us to get Alex Mitchell for next season?
You know, he clearly loves it down here, and he's there's a part on his presser which says, you know, he goes out and about in most of Plymouth, and he sort of gets noticed by people, and obviously stops and talks to people as well. So he loves the area, and he did say towards the end of the interview that he's going to stay down here for another couple of weeks, even if season ended on Saturday. You know, so he'll stay there for another couple of weeks just to sort of, because he loves the place down here, and I think he'd love to come back. I hope we do get him, and I hope Charlton are generous to let him go.
Yeah, money talks at the end of the day, but then there's also that point that we've highlighted before. You know, we talked about Laurent Talai earlier. Simon Hallett mentioned it on the Pilgrims podcast. Was it early this year or last year? Where I think it was early this year, where he said that, you know, sometimes you're held over a barrel with contract situations. It wasn't this year, it was last year. You know, sometimes when a player wants to go or a manager wants to go, there's not much you can do. He was pointing and alluding at the time to Miron Muslic, and he said we did well out of that for getting something for it. So, you know, Nick, it's one of those, isn't it, where, you know, for all the stick that the board and that get at times for the running of player transfers and dealings, sometimes you just can't control the inevitable. And, you know, what do you do? Have a player or someone that doesn't want to then go out there and do a job? You can't easily sack them with the types of contracts they're on. So it's difficult. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Mitchell? Have you met him a couple of times doing what you do?
Very, very briefly in passing, we've met him a couple of times. We've been around the club, obviously, after the last home game, for example, after the Port Vale game. We were just tidying up flags and things like that in the game, and he came out and he was bantering with David Fox in Ronan Curtis and Joe Edwards as well. They're all having, you know, chucking things at each other all the time. So now he clearly gets on well with everybody here. He's obviously loved. I mean, you only got to look at the his Instagram post and see the comments on there around other players asking him to stay and sign on and things like that. So he's clearly well liked amongst the group as well. In regards to actually having a chance to keeping him here, I'd love to be able to say yes, but part of me feels that it's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah. I think it could be money being an issue. You know, he's at a championship club now on championship wages. If we go up, maybe. But I think if we stay in League One, can we match that championship wage profile is my concern.
I think a lot, Nick, though, sometimes it could come down to Talai going for whatever amount of million to fund Mitchell coming down here.
Possibly, but it could also come down to location as well. I mean, you've only got to look. I mean, he said, you know, in the press conference, he said Plymouth in the awards night. I think he said Plymouth's in the middle of nowhere, and he's not wrong. From looking to get to London, it is, you know, it's still 4 hours to get to London. You know, Simon Hallett mentioned it in the fans forum the other night, where investors don't want to come down here because they want to be close to Heathrow or Gatwick, so they've got international.
That's rubbish, Nick. That's all a load of tosh. What are they on about?
So it's one of them. I think that this is the problem. If another club can offer the wages and he's closer to home, there's a chance that he takes that. But at the same time, he said he's enjoyed it. He did say in his press conference that he needs to settle down. He wants to settle down, and it's time he found a home. Possibly he's found it. Whether the money's right, who knows? I mean, that'll obviously be discussed by the club and the player and the agent. But I would love to have him here. But do I think it'll happen? I'm not convinced, but we'll see.
No, I think the sort of difference with players and that these days is they've, I say it throughout the season, they've got to look after themselves first and foremost and make sure they get the right deal.
It's a short career. For a footballer, it's a short career, so you've got to make as much money as quickly as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So I get it. I mean,
exactly.
If someone was to offer me that, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. So
he's 23, 24 now, so he's still quite young. Still got a lot of experience ahead of him. So. And he seems to like playing under Cleverley, who's developing him like he did, like he's developing Papel and Asani and people like that.
Yeah, I thought that comment, Andy, about Cleverley was interesting. Voodoo was in, he would probably tell us it was all Derek Adams he was referring to. Evening Voodoo, if you are watching, jokes aside, but that is a nice compliment because, as we'll look at in a minute, how our season started, as we all know, and transformed, and to hear that come the end is great. I think picking up on your other point, Andy, that he said, he's still going to be down here for a couple more weeks. Well, Alex, if you are listening in or anybody who knows him, Friday night on the 8th, we can always add another guest to the show. That would be absolutely mental if we could get him on. But yeah, I think
you're watching, put a word in.
Say again, sorry.
Plaggy, if you're watching, put a word in.
Yeah. Who did win an award as well, community one. So we'll come on to those later. But yeah, I think that, staying down for a couple more weeks is interesting. A lot of these players, and understandably, just want to go away, take some holiday, see family, and, relax a bit, and rightly so. The fact that he's going to hang around a bit is interesting. So maybe he's expecting a bit of a negotiating battle, and he's like, I'll just hang it back, just for when you get it sorted, and I can nip in and sign the contract. But he's been an incredible asset for this season, one of a few that's joined. Packing up his flat, says Andy the Green. Evening to you. He needs 2 weeks to do
the mortgage. He wanted to get a mortgage down it, or a mortgage somewhere, because he's been on loan 5 times now, hasn't he? So the lad wants to settle down somewhere.
He's probably got a flat or a house that he rents out in every city's club that he's stayed at. If he's wise with his investment in his money. What else we got in the comments? Terry Alford says Argyle should build an airport at Folkestone Park. Well, I mean, you don't have to land planes. I mean, there's such a thing called a helicopter. I have had the fortunes of going in Chris's up to through London, the city. That was incredible on our way to a business meeting. That I tell you what, if you've never done it, it is a bit because I don't like heights really, but it's the most incredible experience. Going in a heli. But so there's helicopters. You could just land in the middle of the pitch. It's not hard. What else have we got here? Stephen Cooper says, I bet Mitchell goes to Bolton. I did see someone say Luton as well. Michael Hawke says money, transfer fee, wages, and possibly sell on is all to factor in. I seem to be the only one who feels Mitchell was overrated. Yes, Matt, you were controversial with that comment at the weekend, and one other, if I can't remember the one now. Yes, he is very affable, but he is very obvious in what he does. And for me, hits and hopes it too often, giving the ball back and inviting pressure. That caused a lot of to-ing and fro-in on Saturday night's show. Truth Plin says he has a horrible feeling. It was him. I say it's a him or a she. It could be. Apologies. Feeling that he will end up at Luton or something. Ruby and me, Andy says, evening, fellas. Better late than never. Ready for the weekend. Whatever happens, it's been a much better season than it could have been. And Mitchell is and always will be, I'll add to that, a pilgrim. Come on, you Greens. Ian earlier said, Alex Mitchell, PAFC fans, said, Premier League standard fans, but in League One. He loves it. Here, sign him on, sign him on. Yeah, absolutely. True Plim also said, do we read into that some players have been high maintenance? I saw your comment pop up when you first put that in. in relation to Tom Cleverley saying that Malachi Boateng is very low maintenance. Do you know what? There will be some high maintenance players. I'm sure of it. You're just going to get that. But it's good when, I suppose, as a manager, when you've got a player that just knows what to do. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to any of the others, but gets on there, does his job, and is injury-free, which, let's face it, in its own is an incredible achievement for an Argyle player this season, that's for sure. Like I said, Debbie Firth came in earlier as well. I bet 3 players, Ian said, that are going up, I don't know what you put there, will be ones who won't be signing a new deal. Peter Henwood said, on current form, Bim is better, and also Talaya is not a team player. It's all about him, in my opinion. You could see sort of elements of that, but strikers are selfish, so they are going to do what they do best, and he has been scoring goals as well. Pebble's got a clause for 1 million. Do we know, though? Does anybody here know what this clause is? So no. So I don't know if that is the case. We don't know what it. We might find out and why it was put in. But as it stands, that's just conjecture because we don't.
I would love to know. I would love to know where people get information on contracts from, because
GPT.
It's never leaked, is it? Everything that comes out, they always say is never anywhere near the true value that people have paid, for example, and things like that. So again, it's one of those that I take with a pinch of salt. It's just like it could be 500,000.
It's people, I mean it disrespectfully. I mean it respectfully to Stephen. You hear things, don't you? You pick up on it and you run with it. Matt Montgomery also said, "I've got if you get 6.5 million for Tolly, even if you deduct wages since he has been here, have 10% deducted to give to Port Vale and 5% to agents. That's 2 million deducted. That leaves 4.5. That's still a good profit. It is for sure. It will be a good bit of business." Either way, it would just be a shame if we don't see more of him. We're linked with Grimsby Town's Jay's Cabia. Was that who you mentioned earlier, Findy? Or was that someone else again? Yeah. No, probably not pronounced that right at all. Right, where are we going to next, me lovers? So I've got some of the awards stuff. We're going to sort of, in a minute, talk about the game on Saturday. Just going to let this flow. But I thought I'd show you. So I'm going to show you our season progress. Some of you have seen over the season, EFL put out this animated league table to show where teams have moved across the league. It's something that I wanted to put in my app that I'm building, part of the analytics. So I'm going to bring that up on screen now. Hopefully everything works. Bear with that size because obviously I'm trying to share my screen, but I can always maximize it in a minute if need be. It will just cut the comments off. But what I've done is added a bit more to it. So first off, you can see the games from start to finish. Well, one more game to go. The playoff zones, the relegation zones, and you can see and make out. Actually, I'll just enlarge the screen now because it'll be a lot easier for you all that are watching. Come on, restream. There we go. And let me just hide the comments for a second off here. I've forgotten how to do it now. There we go. Hide chat. So yeah, you can see where our season started, and you can see the blue line of ups and downs. And of course, I can get it to animate as our season progresses. So the plan with this is I'll start using this throughout shows in the new season so we can just plot how we're doing and all that jazz. But not content, of course, with just showing our team. Let's have it with us comparing against all teams. I can also show the path or not show the path. Let's run the video. Or the animation. So you can see there, yes, as we hover in that relegation zone and we climb out of it for a period. And we thought, well, okay, we're going somewhere. Then, oh, hang on, fall off a cliff. And that's when we hit bottom in November. Don't know why there was quotes and references throughout the last few weeks of Argyle were fourth from bottom. And look at the turnaround. We were bottom at one stage, not just fourth from bottom. And you can see then we started to turn things around. As we started creeping up to that mid-table position as we go along. Yes, there's our animation of the season race with all the other teams so far. And also, if I want to, I can compare how we have done against Oh, Exeter City. Shall we show that? Why don't we? So you can see the red line of Exeter, and how obviously for a period they were above us. We jumped them for a couple of games, dropped, and then jumped them a little bit, and then struggled until the tail end of the season, and then the gap opened up for us against them. I can also bring up the goals for the games. So we can see along that timeline what results we've got in games, and I can open that up and see who the team was at the time. So Burton Albion on that one I clicked on earlier in the season. But also I can show our home form. And when I did this, I thought it was interesting. We all know that our home form this season has been shocking, and it's incredible the away form that we've had. That has really got us out of the mess. And if we can just turn the home form on next season and maintain that away form, that will be brilliant. But you can see how that's panned out. And there's our away form and how well that's done over the season. So, so we've gone... animate it across it. We've gone incredible away from home, which is just it's a pleasant surprise. Finley, after so many seasons of shocking performances away from home, it's nice, isn't it, to sort of have a season where we've seen some good results and performances.
Yeah, this season's definitely been very, very good for away form, especially off the back of last season where we barely had any wins. I think it must have been like 2 wins all season. So it's good that we're getting the results away, and so it gives the fans something to celebrate while they're coming back from with long journey, short journey, wherever they may be. But Argyle are putting up the performances that they need.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long old slog for a lot of fans, Nick, isn't it? And Harvey, I've got a message from Harvey. He couldn't make it on tonight. He may make Friday's show though, but I did ask him if he could do a little video for us so that we can share that with everybody as well. So it's a lot of miles. So it's good for once, even if it was a little bit more in the sort of last 2/3, but to get a lot of decent and some incredible wins as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there, isn't there? It's surprising. I didn't really think about it much until I saw your graph there. I mean, that away form, especially in the second half of the season, has been second. Been second probably only to Lincoln or Cardiff. I mean, it's a massive turnaround from last year. Like Finney said, I mean, it's just a shame that the home form has been as bad as it was. I think, to be honest, it's that spell, isn't it, in October, November, where we really, really hit rock bottom and we struggled. We had a lot of injuries and we just we had no luck. Everything was against us and we just really struggled. But yeah, that January turnaround has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought, as Michael Hawkes was saying, fantastic, Mike. Did he say something else earlier? No, but I thought, Mike, as you've been with us for a while now, I thought I'd just show the Reading form versus our form, where you done really, really well, and then you bottled it, mate. You bottled it. As you can see, you dipped out in the race for the playoffs. You couldn't quite muster it with us to take it to the end of the season.
It's a very similar form, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting, some of these patterns. You can obviously see the likes of, if you take Lincoln and Cardiff at the top here, it's just, let me untick us. If you take those two, it's incredible what their season has been like. I mean, look at that straight line for Cardiff, and then that little mistake, and then Lincoln have taken it and said thank you very much indeed. So their home forms versus their away forms, just sort of home form a little bit scatty for Lincoln compared to Cardiff. Their away form though equally dipped in that sort of early part of the season, but Cardiff, Lincoln's dipped. Cardiff's was sustainable, but they just didn't quite make it to the end as well. So there you go. So some little tools and stuff that will be coming to the new season. This tool will also get wrapped up to be used for other people that do their watch-alongs and shows like us. It will be out on the marketplace for sale for a small subscription. But there you go. You're getting a little sneak peek. And as I said, there'll be more graphics to come at the weekend as well. And hopefully everything is singing in tune. Used to bottling it, says Michael. And he says, cheers for that, for showing that up. Callum Wright will help. I'm sure a few players have spoken to him, says Stephen Cooper. Ruby and me, Andy says, Bolton to win, Stevenage to draw, Argyle to win 2-0. Which would then mean we play Bolton in the playoffs. It would be the most amazing thing after losing to Shuey when he's played against us since leaving on each occasion to then go and draw them in the playoffs and beat their game. And obviously whoever we then get in the final. Stranger things have happened, haven't they? What you're saying to that, Andy, that would just be the most incredible change of events for this season.
Oh, I would, yeah. I mean, Shuey could do us a big favour, couldn't he? And keep Luton where they are. And Callum Wright could do us a big favour. But the only thing we haven't thought of or factored into that is Gary Caldwell, who's the Wigan manager, of course. So, yeah.
Oh, he doesn't care about Exeter now he's left them. Ugh.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't care about them. In answer to Steve Cooper, anyone know if we're on Sky? I think all the matches are on Sky, Steve.
Are they?
On the red button. So you probably catch us on there somewhere.
Yeah, they're on Sky Plus because there's no championship football, and so because of that.
So I don't need to give my tenner to Argyle TV. Then I can stream it from my Sky Puck. So ideal. I didn't know that. So thanks, Andy, for sharing that. What else we got? Graham Byrne, evening to you, says I think we'll win at Northampton, but just miss out, unfortunately. But yeah, if we can still go out on a high, that will still do nicely. Stevenage will win 1-0. Sorry, says Terry Alford. What else we got? Matt Montgomery was going for a 2-0 win to Argyle, 1-1 Stevenage, and the same score line at Bolton. Scores Saturday, Stephen Cooper said Northampton 1, Plymouth 3, Bolton 1, Luton 1, Stevenage 1, Wigan 3. We shall see. Cabia, who was linked with us earlier, as Finley said, was at Truro City, says Ian Kerno 85. Forest Villa are playing tonight. It's goalless. Oh, God, that's a massive game, isn't it? Please, come on, make sure you keep Tottenham in that relegation zone.
It's Europa League, isn't it?
Europa League, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, so is it at the final?
Semis.
Semis, is it? There you go. It shows what I know about everything else going on, folks, as Andy's shaking his head, and rightly so. So Braga are 1. So it's drawing 1-1, Freiburg in the other game, and 0-0 in the Forest and Villa game.
Yeah, Braga just missed a penalty as well.
Oh, did they? Oh, Christ. Andy the Green said, that was penalties flat. So that's where we got back to. Right then, so let me just scroll down here. So I've got nothing for the minute to show. The game then on Saturday, I've got Gavin and Carl's lineups. I'll come to them in a minute. Where are you feeling, Finley, with your gut instinct on how that game's going to go, just in isolation?
I think it will be a similar game to last Saturday. Because both teams were in relegation, I think we'll get a sort of similar result for Saturday.
Yeah, and an overall decent performance, but hopefully not with as much pressure as a certain goalkeeper getting himself sent off.
Yeah.
Clean sheet, I reckon. Clean sheet for Hammond.
Baker will be on the bench as a result of Hazard's red card, won't he, Andy?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he'll be there. Close is going to give him a chance. He's had a slight ankle strain, apparently, but he's going to be on the bench to hopefully not take over from Hammond on Saturday.
Yeah, Owen Crompton also in. Evening to you. Says, hope we beat Luton for you lads. Let's see what happens there. Thanks for popping back in because I think you have been on before. Let me have a look at the lineups, actually. Let's pick them up. Andy, I'll just stick with you for a minute. So Gavin got his lineup to me while he's hurtling back from the train from Paddington to Plymouth. So he has gone for Luca Ashby-Hammond in goal because, of course, that's what you're going to have to do. Wes Harding, Alex Mitchell, Matthias Ross, Joe Edwards in defence, Caleb Watson, Malachi Boateng, and then out wide, Owen Dale, Ronan Curtis, and then Bim Peppel and Laurent Talai. And he said to me in the message when he sent it, that side is going to win that game 4-0. No complaints there. I think Andy is there.
I like that side there. Again, I'm going to say it. It's probably what's going to happen on Saturday. But the only change I would have is Mackenzie coming in for Harding. I don't know why I think that, but I just think,
I agree.
Mackenzie's our player. Harding did well on Saturday. He did really well considering. But I'd want to bring Mackenzie in. Otherwise, why have we got Mackenzie on the bench for?
I like Mackenzie. I think he's
I like
mustard.
Mackenzie.
I
He's just
think
off
he's
the ball,
mustard.
isn't he?
He's
My
just.
dog's making a rack. I'm going to mute myself. Hang on.
That's all right.
I think he's a brilliant player. I think for me, I completely agree with Andy. That's the only change that I would make to that starting 11. I think that Mackenzie's going to be a massive, massive signing for us, and he's just with his injuries just not helped him at this season. He's not really got into the side as much as he probably could have if he was fully fit for the first half. But yeah, I think we've got a player on our hands there, and we've not seen anywhere near what the lad's capable of. I don't think.
No. In terms of Nick, the Wiradu and Mackenzie to start, Stephen Vaughan saying. So, what do you think on that with Watts coming back into the squad? Obviously had to go off because of Hazard getting his red card. But what do you think to that switch?
I would keep Caleb Watts, to be honest. I think Wiradu and Boateng are very, very similar players. And I think Caleb gives us that extra bit of support going forward to link up with Talai and Peppel. Whereas I think Boateng, if we have Boateng and Wiradu in midfield, I think they both sit a little deeper. So I feel you lose that connection then with the front two. So for me, I would stick with what Gav's gone with here. Other than Harding, I'd go Mackenzie personally. Yeah.
Well, let's see if Carl didn't actually study these before I uploaded them. So let's see if Carl has gone with any of the other suggestions made. No, he's gone with Harding still in defence, Mitchell, Ross and Edwards. He has gone, though, with Wiradu over Watts in midfield, but with Peppel and Talai, and again, Dale and Curtis out wide. Finley, what would you do on Mackenzie? What would you do on Wiradu or anybody else for that matter?
I think I would start Mackenzie just because he's been out for a bit. I think he'd get some good game time, and he's a very good player. And he's been a very good signing for us, despite what's happened with injuries. I don't know how I'd feel with Wiradu and Watts. I think they both equally are able to get into the team, but I think it will be down. I think Watts will come in.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we've got some great options, on the bench now. We don't know who's sick. I've seen some of the comments, as we've said throughout the show. We don't know who's sick, and I think that's right. The club will want to keep that close to their chest. Cleverly did say, for those that have not long joined us, I can see a few that have. Evening to you. He did say that some of them may well be travelling up tomorrow, so they probably just leaving it just to see how they feel with another night's rest. Probably best to do that in their bed. I mean, of course, they're not going to fly up because there's no airport, is there? So they will just drive up, I'm sure, or Uber it, or get a chauffeur, one or the other. Anyway, but we'll see. We'll soon find out whether or not we have a very mixed situation. I mean, we could find Baker starts in goal because Hammond's one that's got the flu bug. We could see no Peppel or Talai because they both might have the flu bug.
Matthew Montgomery's comment about Peppel on the semi up top. I mean, that's not a bad shout actually, because Talila absolutely knackered it at the end of the last game, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was a lot of
he was one-on-one with goal, and you think he's going to put that in the net, and he just ran out of steam, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a lot of extra running to be done, wasn't it? Because of the 10 men situation. But I think you're going to run with the momentum. So I think you will stay with Talai and Peppel up front. But Esseni maybe to come off the bench and score a last-minute winner, and then results go our way. We shall see. Rambo's Nose also alluding to it. Evening, mate. He says, let's hope everyone's not sick at 5 on Saturday afternoon. We shall see. Yeah. Truth Plim did confirm earlier that he is a bloke. So he just went away to check and come back and said, no, I'm definitely a bloke. You never know with these names sometimes, and some of your comments in the past I won't remember even if they gave it away. Ads Taylor as well has just joined us about 10 minutes ago. You missed all my other new graphics, but you'll see them again on Saturday. He says, start Mackenzie. Totally agree with that. yeah, so interesting that Carl and Gavin haven't gone with Mackenzie. So they've gone with the same back four. So let's see what else we got. Stephen Cooper, the players may have eaten the pasties. I hope not. They're bad. Seagulls love them more. Like I said, it's, they were all together for the awards, and we've got the awards, not the awards ceremony clip, but the photographs of who got what. I'll share that in a minute. And of course, the women's. So we'll come to that in a second. Heather, I'll just bring her in because bless her, Heather's been sat in the background and looking fed up. There we go. Yeah. I was going to make a comment then with something in the background, but I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get shot if I do that.
That's not my department. That's Darren's department.
Fair enough. Is he on the sofa? Is that what you're pointing at, or is he gone to bed early again?
No, he's in bed. He's been relegated to the bedroom. Relegated to the kitchen because Madame is home and I'm not allowed in the Argyle room.
Okay. Right. Well, she doesn't want to be on the show tonight, clearly. But welcome in as we look to get things going as well with what both the players and the ladies, the men's and the ladies awards. Yes. Hazard's banned, isn't he? Says Graham Byrne. Yes, he is. Luton and Stevenage chefs did food for the awards. Andy, the Green Tent, says unchanged from last week for me, except Luca Ashby-Hammond. So, well, I'm going to come on. I said about it earlier. So for those that have just joined us, it's a good segue to point it out again. So we're going to do, obviously, the watch along on Saturday with Carl will join me for that one. Fresh after his night shift, so he's going to get some sleep before he gets over to me. We'll do that, and then we are going to do the post-match in the evening, but our final show is going to be next Friday, so get that in your diaries, 8 p.m. Moved it to a Friday rather than a Thursday like this because I reckon it'll be a good 2 hours and should be a very good 2 hours. So just wanted to hit the weekend, certainly for myself, after that. So hopefully that suits everybody. And I did announce that we will have Chris Errington will be on again. He was on towards the end. I think it was before Christmas last year when obviously things were not going good at all. He is going to join us on Friday. And also for the first time on the show, I'm pleased to welcome Aaron Cusack. I've said it before about trying to see if we can get him on, and we just haven't managed to join it up earlier. But he is going to come on Friday as well. And I think we'll talk about the likes of Bim, who he knows very well, and 2 or 3 other players that have shone for him. And that segue brings me nicely to the clip that they put out on the Argyle analysis that Aaron does with Charlie Price every week. And he picked up, which I thought was brilliant and worthwhile sharing. I'm trying to find it now today. And he picked up on Owen Dale, Luca Ashby-Hammond, Owen Dale as well. And because Owen Dale for me has been absolutely brilliant recently. So it's just under 3 minutes. So let me roll that VT now and have a listen in. Some brilliant
Bim Peppel obviously will take a lot of the plaudits. 2 goals. He's up to 18 now for the season, which is absolutely incredible for him. But quite often when you're up against it, player down, certainly the goalkeeper down, it's an opportunity for others to step up and stake a claim. And there are a couple of players we want to pick out.
Absolutely. So Luca Ashby-Hammond, who, after 2 minutes, he doesn't think he's coming on for the afternoon. And now all of a sudden he's donning his gloves and on he comes. And, it takes a moment to kind of settle yourself. But, that's a decent save to start with. So this is fairly early after him coming on. So a really good parry out, clear his box. So this one here is the best one for me of the whole game. Yeah. That's a terrific save because it's blindsided from Crossdale. It's a good save. There are other moments where you might think that this one, Hernandez cutting in a fairly routine. However, if he spills that, then one of the Port Vale players potentially follows up. This is Shipley, again, working the ball. A routine, yes, but you've got to smother it and make sure you've got connection of the ball. Really great positioning here. Really good anticipation of collecting that ball on the way through. Another one second half. Again, routine save, yes, but if he fumbles it there, Ben Wane's on hand maybe to tap it in. But what you want is in the last kick of the game, you want your goalkeeper to be confident and come and claim it. And that would probably, had a bigger cheer as a goal going in because of the state of the game. Owen Dale's the opposite one, the other one, sorry. Unsung hero, went and played alongside Boateng, full of energy, full of running. Here he is, just doing his bit for the team defensively from a breakaway corner. in conjunction with Luca Ashby-Hammond, aware of defensive duties, picking up the ball here, very much involved in this next moment, so showing his attacking qualities as well. The last month he's been outstanding. His energy is as good as anyone. He runs players, he gets into these good areas, you know, decent enough cross, and it resulted in Talai nearly scoring an audacious overhead kick. But it was also these moments. So this is the second goal. So we've already highlighted previously Bin Peppel and Talai involved, but look at Dale, he's going to come into picture just here. Bravery to get involved, you know, needs to go into that tackle, could pick up a free kick on another day. Good advantage by the referee, we think, and then Peppel sticks it away. So lots of the things that perhaps go unnoticed to the untrained eye potentially, but sensing danger, look, you know, trying to hold on to something. This is a guy on loan as well, Charlie, you know, a guy who clearly cares about this football club, look, doing his bit for the team to smother any constant danger that might have had. And then the last kind of bit we've got, look at the running, fuller running, latter part of the game. Look at the energy of him to get ball side and then goal side to slow the Port Vale break down. So that allows the rest of the players to get into position. So a fantastic display from both parts of doing their bit for the team, but the significance of their contribution.
So Aaron, who will join us on Friday to give us a bit more analysis, like I said, on the likes of Peppel and whoever else, and his thoughts as well. He obviously runs his own coaching business as well called ATEC Coaching, and he's got those famous socks that you see everywhere. He's now into shin pads, these grip socks and shin pad holders, I think they are. He's going to join us on Friday. I'm really looking forward to that. If you don't know about it, you can go and watch the full clip on Argyle TV, and I think they also do put it out on YouTube. So it's a great bit of analysis and gives you some really useful insights. And I think Dale, as I said it at the start, you know, Andy, I'll come to you on this one as well. You know, for me, even when he started to come into the squad after joining us, you know, I could see that what potential was there. It's about getting rhythm in the games. But, I mean, just showing that run even at the end, head down, charging back just to stop any threat of us conceding an equaliser. Just an amazing engine on him.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, I'd love to see him back here again next season. Really cracking player. He offers so much and runs himself into the ground. And we don't often see that from lonely players, do we? You know, so we just get, you know, we had JB last season before last, and I don't think JB did as much running as him. So yeah, he deserves a chance down here if you can get him.
Yeah, so as Michael Hawke said, Dale probably stay or resign at Oxford as they are in the League One next season. I mean, if anything, Dale is certainly pitting himself out there. Nick, I'll come to you on that. There's all these lone players, Mitchell, you know, Dale, Harding, Harding sort of more in the recent games come into form, but again, it's getting the matches, isn't it? You know, they've been incredible servants to the club, you know, so if we can get him, great. Will it be a pay issue again? Is it a year he's got left, or is his contract up in the summer? I can't remember.
Owen Dale's out of contract in the summer, so it would be a free agent. So
window
that
then,
takes a little bit of the that makes it a little bit easier, especially if he's enjoying his time down here. I know he's brought his family down as well. He's got I think he's got a young boy and his girlfriend or wife down here as well. So if they're enjoying their time down here, who knows? Maybe we can cleverly convince him to stay. I'd definitely like to see him stay. I mean, a couple of the clips that Aaron pulled out there, especially the one at the end with the backtrack, and I noticed, and I actually said to one of the lads who sits next to me, I said that's unbelievable effort for this stage of the game. And I would love to have him back personally.
Yeah, it's I hope so. It'd be good to see him. And Finley, Ashby Hammond, you know, sort of he got a great reception coming on. Whether that was nervous applause or not, bless him. He has had obviously his fair share of howlers, sadly this season. But the biggest thing for me is, as Aaron nailed it, the way you watched it in the game, you saw the saves. You know, they were brilliant. The way he managed to parry the ball away and not get it back into the danger. You know, and that catch at the end probably summed up what we've missed from our keepers all season, and that is being commanding in the box. And when you're biting your nails thinking, oh, don't concede an equaliser, and out he rushes, collects it, drops to the deck, and you're just like, where's that been? Although he's generally better at commanding his box than Hazard. But yeah, he's going to be happy and confident now going into the game on Saturday as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll definitely be. So yeah, Saturday was I'd say his best game, considering the amount of saves that he's made and what. Yeah, like you said, the catch at the end. He's been an absolute fantastic player on Saturday, and yeah, I think his morale will go into Saturday. And I hopefully he should do as well as he did last week. But yeah, he's been a very good keeper over like the last few months.
Where he's been called upon. So one game doesn't come off the man, but obviously as Hazard is almost definitely going in the summer, and that's probably right now time-wise for both parties to separate there. Obviously, we need to be on the lookout for more keepers. We got Zach Baker, obviously, who's still learning his craft. If Hammond has another good game on Saturday, do you suddenly start opening up Word and typing up a potential?
Not sure on that one. Personally, I don't think I would. I think the goalkeeping department, personally, it's obvious that Connor's going. I think that's clear to everyone. I would probably release Baker and probably release Ashby Hammond as well if Ashby Hammond was only on a 1-year deal. I don't know what Ashby Hammond signed in the summer.
It was a 1 year, yeah.
But I think I'd probably be looking to overhaul the goalkeeping department just to give a bit more confidence and a bit more stability in the defence. There's clearly been, throughout the course of the season, there's been a bit of a nervousness between defence and goalkeeper. You can see that in many games that we've played. So my personal opinion would be probably to overhaul the goalkeeping department completely and look to bring in new keepers. The only problem you have with that is, though, if Tom Cleverley likes to play, and he's already come out and said that he likes to play with a number 1 and a number 2, and he likes to have that defined. If you bring in a number 1, and then you're trying to bring in a number 2 that specifically to be a number 2, that's always going to be difficult. And I think Ashby Hammond was brought in this year knowing that he was going to be a number 2.
Yeah, it was like an emergency cover, respectfully
exactly.
to him, wasn't it?
So you're looking for someone to come to your club and play football and not play football, not expect to be on the pitch every week, and that's going to be quite difficult because all footballers want to play games. Yeah. So I think
there is an opportunity then, Nick, if like Leo McCormick or Zach Baker can step up. We just don't know what sort of qualities they've got yet.
How old is Zach Baker now?
Zach Baker's what, 20? Is he 19, 20?
Hang on, I'll tell you in a second when I can get to it, because I do have player profiles on my app. So
that's another option, isn't it? We've got Sam Ashby Hammond as number 1, and then we've got Zach Baker and Liam McCormick chomping at the bit for number 2.
The only issue with Zach Baker that I have is I think he's about 21. I think he's 20 or 21. He hasn't played a lot of football in men's football. He's had a couple of loan moves to Parkway and teams like that, but he's not played a great deal of men's football. And for a goalkeeper at that age now, I think I'd have expected them to have played a lot more football in men's football than that.
I just think Michael Cooper. That's all. I mean, Michael Cooper was in that same situation, wasn't he?
He was, but
I'd like 21. Yeah, just about to say, yeah, he's 21.
I was going to say he was 18 when he was thrown at the deep end. There wasn't Mike Cooper. So by the age of 21, I think Mike Cooper had played a lot of football in men's football, and Zach Baker hasn't had that opportunity.
Yeah, fair point, mate.
So I just feel as a 21-year-old, I'd have expected a few, not necessarily first team football. I'm not talking first team football, but men's football, and I don't think he's played a lot of men's football.
No, fair play.
I know there was a lot. I mean, Andy, you said it a few times throughout the season, like, get Zach Baker on. I think Carl was one of them as well. It is difficult, but because some of these youngsters, do have the quality and clearly, as players, outfield players as well, you see them come through very, very quickly. I think it will be interesting to see what happens in that arena. Heather, you went to pick your hand up as if I thought, have you got a point you want to make on any of that as well? Did you have, or yeah?
It was more on about, obviously, like you want to do the goalkeeper overhaul, but to be honest, I think obviously Hammond from the last game kind of proved himself as a good little backup, though. I think he has earned that second keeper spot, not so much probably the first, but it's almost when he's not given a chance to really think about it and he was just thrown in, that was his best game. Whereas where he started where he played at the start of the season, he was a bit more fumbly. But yeah, he did all right on Saturday, and that's rare for me to actually like him.
I agree. That was his best game for us all season. I completely agree with that. And there is logic behind what you've just said around the fact that he's not had to think about it and he's just been chucked in and he's had to perform.
Yeah, he's probably was sat there on his Kindle, like reading his little ebook, and then they're like, "Put your kit on." He's like, "Huh?"
There's logic behind that. Yeah, no, I get
early
that.
on in the season, he made a few mistakes, and the fans were on his case, weren't they? They didn't like him, and they were giving him right stick. Like most.
Yeah, and that's also because the team weren't doing great either, was it? And sort of confidence breeds amongst your squad. I think, Heather, it's a valid point, and actually, it's is it better the devil you know? And
we know what he's going to do. Is like he does have a few little mishaps, but obviously, if you look at the start of the season to the end of the season, he has improved, like the team have, and rightfully so. Like the last game, he has fully proved himself. So, would you rather keep something you kind of know and you have control of, or are you going to throw everything out, get 3 new ones in, and then go, well, how do you play? Well, how do you play? And how do you play?
Yeah, I think it's a valid point because you just don't know what the market's like out there.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting what the club think. I mean, Christ, would we have respectfully to Ashby Hammond, would we have been saying, oh, actually, is he worth actually signing on? And I think you hit the point on he would know he's probably likely to be a number 2.
Yeah.
But he could
get his
end up
brother,
having
get the 1 and 2, get both brothers signed up.
Yeah, and as Matt Montgomery said, his feet and his distribution of the ball are his best asset. But those saves, and as Aaron Cusack, highlighted them, the way he got down to them, came out early to grab a ball as well as that final corner. Where has that been earlier in the season? But it's great that he was able to.
Really good because he's got an assist already, hasn't he? So we know he can get the ball up if he's given the chance as well. So. Because he got that ball up to Tolly, and so that was quite good at Wimbledon.
We were saying the very same about Ben Peppel earlier on in the season when he couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, and now he's amongst our top scorers. So these development players are being developed, rightly so, and so you've got people like Asani coming through now. You've got Peppel coming through now, getting regular football when they were just development players at the start of the season. So you've got to give Ashby Hammond credit, where credit's due. He's had to bide his time and wait.
Yeah.
But he's making the most of it now.
I mean, if we're League One next season, if we are still in League One next season, I would probably offer him a contract for a number 2.
Yeah, that's probably a good.
If we're in the Championship, I don't think I would offer him a contract as a number 2.
Maybe a number 3.
Yeah. No, it's if we can afford 3.
If you can afford 3 first-team goalkeepers on the books.
Yeah, we shall see. As I see, Larry from Plymouth, Massachusetts has just dropped in. Are there goalkeepers in the league out of contract to consider? No idea. Also, Steve,
I want to pinch Exeter's, and that's rare for me to say that name.
The what? Sorry?
I want to pinch Exeter's keeper.
For you guys, obviously not for us.
Sam Tickle would be a good keeper.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm rubbish with players at other clubs, so I leave that to others. We will... depending on whether or not it's a chilled session on our final show next Friday, or if it's a buzzing one because we make the playoffs, we will discuss those players that are out of contract. That will be for that night. We won't dwell on it more because I'm going to start wrapping up with the awards and, of course, then Heather on what's happening with the ladies in their first playoff game. But yeah, Larry joined us from Plymouth, Massachusetts, himself with Brian, who's in Boston, Massachusetts, across the pond. We may, on Saturday... sorry, not with Larry, Eric over there as well, unless you're with them as well, Larry. Apologies. We may have them on our stream in the pub that they'll be at. Brian said that him and Eric are going to the local pub to watch the game on Saturday, and they may take the laptop so I can almost dial them in and we can just have them in the corner of the screen while Carl and I commentate. That will be brilliant to do that. And also we're looking to get them on as well in the evening show. I was going to try and get them on Friday's end of season show, but with Chris Errington, Aaron Cusack on, and a number of others that will join us, it will be a long one as it is. But yeah, hopefully we'll hear from two Argyle fans that have started to follow and find Argyle in their first season. Larry, I'm not quite sure if it's your first or longer. I think it's longer. But yeah, it's great that the Argyle fan base it just keeps growing and growing. Right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the awards ceremony then that happened on Tuesday night. My neighbours won a competition with the Evergreen and were able to attend. I wasn't jealous at all. Just haven't spoken to him since he told me on Saturday. So yeah, they got to enjoy that. And I didn't watch it. Hands up, who did watch the live feed on the show panel here? Yeah, just looks like you and I, Nick. Clearly, we've got better things to do. So, what I'll do is, in no particular order, I will bring up on screen the little post. Come on, restream. There we go. That they put out there. So, yes, Malachi Boateng, a full season of hard work and quality, recognised by his peers. Malachi Boateng is named the men's Player of the season. I won't read out who the sponsor was, but yeah, there he is, looking rather dapper in his suit and holding the award full of fingerprints from those reflections. But yeah, Nick, the one player that, and we haven't done a vote. I just haven't got round to it, folks. So to be honest, because I've been flat out, but he is my player of the season. So I'm just going to say that outright. Calls it the Block 9 player of the season for this year. But yeah, he has just been incredible, and to have played every game. I'm assuming it'll be so bloody typical. He's one that's got a bug and then can't start, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I voted for Malachi as well for player of the season. So, no, completely agree. I mean, it's very rare you see a player that's played every single league game throughout a season now. There's always injuries or that come up, or they miss one or two games through fatigue or something like that. But no, he's been superb. What an engine on him. I mean, I don't think I've seen a player run so consistently through 90 minutes of football, for a very, very, very long time. Yeah, it's just, for me, it was an easy decision to pick him. Obviously, it was going to be close between other players. But yeah, I agree. Malachi was mine as well.
Yeah, I won't go to everybody on every player because I'm just conscious we're an hour and 20 in nearly. But yeah, for Boateng, it is impressive. Has he been great in every game? No, but like every player. But if you know that you can rely on a number of players that is going to be like on the sheet because you know that they're going to be fit and healthy, then he's one of them, and it's been great to see that. On to the next one, and Andy, I have noted that, so we'll come to you with Pebble. So Bim Pebble finishing off the perfect team move. Bim did get collect the award for the men's goal of the season award, presented by I won't say because that's the sponsor of the event there. But yes, he got that goal. I've got the clip of it in a minute, but Andy, I'm conscious you might have to shoot in a second, but again, we'll talk about more and hear more about him from Aaron on Friday. But yes, he has been involved in some brilliant goals. He has created a lot of assists. But that goal against Wigan was absolutely superb. And I'll show it.
It was some goal. I mean, the movement from the team as well, sort of going down on the left first and not making much progress, so cutting it back onto the right, which we've seen Argyle do so many times. And then the little ball into Edwards, and then Boateng across to see him sweep it home. What a goal! I mean, you'd be purring about that in the Premiership, wouldn't you? You see football like that. I know it was only Wigan, but it was a really good goal to watch, and fully deserved to get the award for it as well.
Do you want to have any final words before, or are you still all right for a minute?
No, I'm okay. She's on her way. She's near at Plimpton now. She's just coming back from her dad's place up in Abingdon, so she's going to be here in about the next 10 minutes or so. So I've got 10 minutes, but I can stay live. But it just means that I might have to go quiet or put myself on mute for a little while.
Let me run the video that they put out as well. So of the goal. So here it is. They start with the celebration and go back to it. Carl was with me in the Wigan game, and it was a brilliant goal to commentate on.
I was in the stands watching.
You were at that one.
Yeah.
Just the movement.
Ball got spread to Edwards, from left to right, down the wing to Curtis, with Edwards overlapping to receive the pass back. Yeah, and then Boateng charging into the box, squaring it to Peppel just outside the 6-yard box and tuck it away. That was a great team goal. One of my favourite goals of the season as well. There we go. The pitch side camera.
I did feel for Talai because Talai's goal, where he received it from Ashby Hammond, took it down in one touch and then swept it home, was a great goal as well.
See, I feel for an individual goal, it had to be Caleb Watts. That strike where he just smashed it into the top corner, received from a short corner.
It's I don't have. If I could, I would, but I wouldn't have the time to do a goals wrap up, little short. But yeah, it's there's so many good goals coming from the team as a whole, which is great to see. Like I said, no particular order, but Tegan, Finn, and I can't quite. It's Tiana, isn't it? Is that right?
Tiana Teaser.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah. So young players of the year winners for this season. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of Tegan Finn. Obviously, he pulled his hamstring that time, but was available for the last couple of games. So hopefully, we'll see more of him in the new season if he doesn't find pastures new. So one for the future there. Heather, I'll get you to pick up on the ladies a bit further down. The 2025 and 26 men's and women's supporters player of the season went to Mitch and Phoebe. There they both are with their little trophy. Well, not little, they're quite big, aren't they? Trophies. So deserved in Phoebe's case there then, Heather?
Oh, 100%. She's such a strong player, and from where she was, she suffered quite a lot with her confidence. But she's been smashing it. She's obviously in the running for the Golden Boot. So, yeah, top class on that pitch.
Yeah, excellent. And then coming to the next one in the reel, we talked a lot about Mitch, but Seb Campbell as well. We saw him come out for a couple of games. Clearly, him and Tegan go to the same barbers. It's great. And he was the season in which he became the youngest goal scorer, made his league debut, and signed his first professional contract. Nice. Seb Campbell picks out the breakthrough prospect of award for this season. Again, another exciting one to look forward to. Was it the cup game he scored his goal? Am I remembering that?
6-2.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I thought it was. I didn't think it was a league goal. So thank you for confirming. The next one, there he is. Look how dapper he's looking. Yes, last season's Block 9 player of the season is Plaguey. He got the award for community work. I suppose, when you're injured and you're out for a while, there's other duties that you can attend. And he got involved with the Project 35 and everything else there around the community. It
was his autism, Argyle for autism, that won it.
Right. Okay. Good. What's that? Okay. So Nick needs to go because he's also got to get his chef whites on to cook dinner for his missus. Nick, hopefully we might see you joining in next Friday as well for our season closeout. But thank you for joining us tonight, mate. You're on mute, mate. You're on mute.
Typical, I'm on mute. All depends. If we make the playoffs, then I'm assuming that we would probably have a home game on the Saturday. So if we make the playoffs, I might be a little bit busy on the Friday night.
That's all right. We could go live to Nick at Home Park as he prepares for the first of the 2 playoff matches.
Potentially. Hopefully, it'll be nice.
I suppose it is
I
as
asked
quick
it
as that,
in
isn't
the
it?
comments. It's the 9th and the 3rd and 12th and 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the first one is the Saturday the 9th. So if we do sneak that into those playoffs, obviously the only place we can sneak into is the bottom place, which means we'll be home on the first leg. So yeah, if we do sneak it, I will probably be busy on the Friday.
No, that's fine. We won't miss you. Don't worry. So
I'll send you some photos.
Yeah, go and see Emma, and then we'll speak to you soon, mate. Thank you for coming
Lovely.
on, both.
Right, take care, Nick.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
So I like the fact that Boateng did mix it up with the colour of the suits. But Plaguey still looking a fine specimen. Anyway, that's enough of the loving. And then next one, we have chosen by her teammates for a season of immense quality. Ellie Noble is the Women's Players Player of the Year. And, well, where you go, Heather.
Yeah, she was obviously it's the players, so picked by her own teammates, and she's just phenomenal in midfield. She's played most games, and as they were mentioned as well, most of her goals have come from outside the box. They joked that she didn't even touch the ball inside a box this season. She just doesn't seem to like it.
It's shoot on sight, and I'm always going to put it in the back of the net.
Basically,
how many goals she scored, Heather?
Pardon?
How many goals has she scored? Do you know?
Bear with me. I know she is. I've got her down as 14 because she's going for the golden boot, I believe.
Pretty good. That's good stuff, isn't it? You know,
there's a lot of goals
some
in these women's
games as well. I've seen some of her goals. Fantastic.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Come on, there we go. Stoppage time scenes. This one says Una. How do you say her last name? Unalu, thank you.
Unalu on number 2.
Unalu, the number 2, accepts the Moment of the Season award that she got for a last-minute winner against Bournemouth. Obviously that just made it with the fact that then obviously we also got that promotion spot, even though they beat us in the cup. There's nothing better than rubbing that salt, and if we can win.
So this was literally the week before the cup game. So we beat them obviously 2-1, and by doing that, we put ourselves more secure for the playoffs. If we drew or lost against them, we wouldn't be where we are now. So it was such a big game and such a momentous goal.
Yeah, and hopefully we can go on to see ourselves go up into that league.
Yes.
And also showing incredible commitment off the pitch after her injury at the start of the season. Was that the leg break?
Yes.
Yeah.
You could hear it snap.
Yeah, I remember Gavin telling us about that. Ouch. Representing our football clubs with pride, embracing the values we hold. So Lulu Jarvia, have I got that? Jarvis, sorry, it's really small text to read, wins this year's Jack Leslie Respect Award. So, yeah, I remember Gavin's, and actually I went to a game on his table not long afterwards, and he was just explaining to us out the window where it happened. He said, those that have heard a leg break, it's horrendous because the noise is incredible. But yes, hopefully on the road to a full recovery. Will she play again, Heather, after the back of that?
She wants to, yeah. Speaking to her, she's absolutely smashing her rehab. She's walking around so much better. She's got a ball back at her feet, and she's, to be honest, she's looking her eyes set on September and where we are and where she wants to be. She obviously is a Jamaican representative as well, so she's represented the Jamaica in the women's team. So
okay, nice.
It's a big deal for her to just end an international career as well.
No, good. Good little bit of insight there. And the next one, and Forest have taken the lead. They just got a penalty, 70 minutes on the clock. They are
Steve's comment, that was Phoebe Poole.
Right. Okay. So Stephen Cooper saying, "Who's the girl that was playing for for Wales?" Phoebe Poole. Right. The last one here again for goal of the season for Ellie Noble, and of course I've got that clip. So
That's
let's run
cute
that
as well.
on the presentation. Most men will be proud of taking a free kick.
And this was just free kick.
Great act, isn't it? Gets the former team as well.
It's from behind the
To
goal.
be fair, if you watch some of her goals, they do hit that crossbar and go in. She seems to like that as a shot.
It's it's just
Yeah,
that's
it's a great goal.
free kick, cracking free kick. So let's talk about what we've got to come. But before we do that, actually, and I've got Harvey's videos out to not forget. I thought I'd pick this picture up.
Oh no, I'm missing it.
You're what? Sorry.
I'm just on the outside of this picture.
Yeah, I know you are. I cropped you out. I didn't. I downloaded that as it was. But yeah, that was at the final game. Was it the Real Bedford game? Was that?
It was.
Yeah, at the final game. So, and of course, I cannot not put up your intro picture, of course. We will come on to some of the ideas for next season. But yes, tell everybody what's going to be happening in the first of the playoff games against Watford. Wolves, even.
Wolves, yes. So we obviously secured second place in the Southern League. Quite annoyingly, 1 point behind Watford as well. So quite tight for us. So we are going up to the Pirelli Stadium on the 4th of May is our game. And we are playing, obviously, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who came second in the Northern. So we have actually played them once pre-season, when Marie was obviously our manager right at the start. We didn't have a lot of like the players we have now, so it was like a bit of chuck you on the field and see how you play, and we lost 2-1 there. So I think it's a bit of we're coming back with not letting them beat us again, but also I think we got that now in our like they're so close that we've got a bit like the bite is in us just to get it now.
Yeah, and that's so. Just when does that game kick off again? And time?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah, was that?
I believe it's been on Argyle TV, and it is also on the WSL2 YouTube channels as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll be able to watch that on Sunday, hopefully while sitting down and saying the men's are going to have their
give us a wave header as well when you're there. Right.
Say, absolutely.
Give us a wave.
Did you manage to fill most of the bus as well, by the way, or the coach for the Real Bedford game?
Real Bedford, we had 18 seats left, and luckily enough, the Green Taverners did step forward to cover those missing seats. So obviously, massive thank you to Lena and Gary for that.
Yeah.
But we are running a minibus this time to the playoffs, and I've got 5 seats left on that at the minute.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, so if you want to go up there, get
Is it
Sunday or Monday, Heather?
It's a Monday. So on the Sunday is the where I've actually got this written down. The Midlands versus North, which is Bormir St Michael's against Cheadle at Stingers. On the Sunday is South East versus South West, which is Moneyfield and Norwich City. And then the Premier Southern and the Premier Northern is on the Bank Holiday Monday, which is Wolves Argyle.
Right, okay, there you go. So now you know where it's all happening. Fingers crossed for that. And obviously, we've been speaking offline about plans for next season. So, longer term goals were always to get a more of a community audience going through the Block 9 for the ladies' game. And that would be then giving Heather another weekday slot. Where then she can bring in,
Going rogue.
Maybe Gavin still as well, because let's be honest, he's been to most of those home games as well. So, certainly to have a dedicated ladies game. And we've talked about things. Heather will get some people on with her because of the close knit community as well that there is in that game. Bringing in other fan bases. I believe it's you're going to be. Was it Wolves or Watford? Did you say? I can't remember that you're going on their pod.
I'm on the Wolves podcast tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, sorry
I'll
for the
be
game.
discussing all things playoff.
Yeah, so
It'll be on YouTube or X.
I believe we're on YouTube. I just need to confirm all the details tonight with Nick and all that. So
yeah, so
Also,
if we can get
we'll make sure we get people watching that as well. That'd be good.
thank you.
have a look, and if we can get a clip, if they're able to send us that, then we'll put it up on our channel as well. But yeah, so we're going to look to have a day in the week where Heather can talk about all things in the Argyle ladies, but also in the ladies league, as that, you know, those that enjoy that and want to know more about it. You know, we got a few in the show that do appreciate
I
those
have a lot of
updates.
facts. I have lots of paperwork. You know, lots of information about all the women's team.
There we go. Doing the research, doing the research on a traditional pen and pad as well.
I can't do digital. If it's not in front of me, my ADHD and my OCD is like, it's non-existent.
Finley's nodding away in agreement while he's got his lovely new MacBook Air in front of him. So I have to say, although I'm very much a tech man and have been for a long time, I still like a pad sometimes, but my brain goes too quick for my pen, and then my writing is worse than the doctor's note. So, there he is. Look, yeah, with his pen. So, oh god, the ticker.
I saw Steve's comment about the coach bus, and I don't actually think the women will have the coach because obviously the men are away on Saturday, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah.
But I want to say they've got the second bus, so like a downgraded version, because they're going up Sunday, I want to say, or even Saturday to practice, train, and then be ready.
Yeah, no, we're good. Well, look, we wish them well and see how they do in that first game. And like we said, you can catch that through some of the channels. We'll remind me or get Kyle to do it tomorrow to reshare that as well. So you can see where that is. Just check a few more comments as we start to wrap up now. So thank you, everybody, for your spending your evening with us again. What's he, Andy the Green, saying we need a women's spreadsheet thing? Oh, okay.
Oh,
well, to be fair, I don't know whether or not the API that I use does connect
We need
into
this in technical form.
yeah, exactly. I don't know if it connects into the women's into the women's leagues, was else I could do an animated version as well and stats on the women's game. If they do, then I will connect to it for sure. David Tom saying, just realised that if we make the playoffs, I can't afford ticket for the home game. Have to give half of pension for season ticket on a Sunday. Yeah, we will be. Well, when it's away, when we have our away playoff game, I'm just going to put it out there. Then, of course, we'll be there for the watch along at least, David. But the home game, yes, will certainly be there. Debbie Feff says, another great watch, guys. Thanks for all your hard work behind the scenes, making the podcast. Stephen Cooper, Heather, would have we done that one? Michael Hawke says, yeah, bank holiday, Andy in the green, as we confirmed. And Forest is still one up last time I checked. Anyway, so it's time to call it a night. But just to recap, like I said, watch along on Saturday with myself and Carl. Really looking forward to that. We're going to go 15 minutes earlier. We may well get Eric and Brian from Boston on just before the stream as well. But, we want to get going for that game. So we will go a little bit earlier. And then we will do the post-match show in the evening. And hopefully it's a positive one, even more so. And then, as I've said, our final show of the season is booked and planned in for next Friday, the 8th. Even if we've got the game, unless something changes with Aaron and Chris, then they will be on Friday. We'll still make it happen because we can do that, and then we'll also do the post matches of the playoff games as well if we get there. So that will be on Friday. That will be at 8:00. Like I said, Chris Errington will join us on the show, and also Aaron Cusack, and we'll get a few of the panels that you've seen as well on board. I do have, actually, I just remembered Harvey's video. So Harvey is likely to be with us on Friday, but he did a little shout out, asked him to put a little video out for his last game of this season that he will be going up to.
Thank you for Mike for having me on. Sorry I couldn't be there, but duty calls, work, of course. But final game of the season in a very roller coaster type season, which we've had every single emotion. And unfortunately, we're ending it on a high. We're in the hunt for playoffs. We're in the shout for playoffs, which is very surreal, considering if you'd said to me 6 months ago that on the final game of the season, Argyle would be sat in 8th with a shout at playoffs and a top half finish. I would have called you crazy, and I definitely would have asked what you were drinking. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. Personally, I do think it's a little bit too much, but for us to finish 7th or 8th, it's a great accomplishment and shows how far we've come in this second half of the season, and a sold out away end. Hopefully it's all going to be good vibes, and hopefully we see an Argyle 3 points. But I want to thank you all for the support you've not only given myself but the Block 9 over the course of this season, and I wish you all the best of summers, and I'll see you again in the new season or the playoffs if we make it there.
There we go. So there's a little shout out from Harvey. Like I said, hopefully you'll see us. You'll be with us. We'll probably have the most people in the show on that night. So looking forward to that. But yeah, Finley, any final words from you and score prediction now for Saturday?
I think it'll be a similar game to Saturday, but instead we'll have 11 men. I think it will be 3-1 Argyle with Peppel 2 and Mitchell 1.
Yeah, cool. Andy, if you can speak. If not, show it up in your fingers.
I'm going to go for 3-1 Argyle win. I think Northampton will score because they haven't scored for a while, and I think Argyle will just win it 3-1.
Cool. And Heather, what are you predicting for
I'm
both
a bit
games?
less confident. I'm almost going with a 2-1.
Yeah, okay. I'll be the one then that goes all balls out. 4-0. I'm going to go with Gavin. 4-0 to the Greens. We will sign off in style. Whether or not we get that playoff place is out of our hands. So yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, if you are on YouTube, please subscribe where you can and follow us on the other platforms. I might just stick out a little post of my animated league season so far, with Exeter highlighted as well, just to stir it up a bit. Will they stay in the league for next season? It is a battle for survival for them in their last game. Anyway, until Saturday, Carl and I will see you then. Thank you, everybody, again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.